Good afternoon. Yes. Hi, folks. Welcome. So this is a 25-minute flow class that you're here for. Level 1 to 2, so nothing too crazy going on in it, and it's pretty short and sweet. So, shorter classes, you don't really have much time to warm up or anything, to warm up much. So we don't really get into big, juicy, deep postures. It's really just a class to kind of like wake your body up. If it's the middle of the day, so if you've been sitting at a desk working, it's a good chance to just kind of get moving a little bit. Okay, you shouldn't need props for this, unless we will do a couple of folds towards the end of the class. So if you need a block to sit on or a pillow to sit on or something to elevate your hips, you can grab that. And if you want anything for Shavasana, grab that as well. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Without further ado. Child's pose, please. Knees to the mat, hips back towards the heels. Hips dropping back, upper body coming forwards. Forehead might come down to the mat, it might not quite reach there. Knees can be wide or close together. Arms can be forwards or back by your sides if it feels nice. And we're just going to take about 10 breaths. Breathe through the nose as much as possible. Feeling the backs of your ribs open on the inhale, expanding. And using a bit of contraction in your belly as you exhale, controlling the breath out through the nose. Just another 3 to 5 more here, settling into rhythm. And when you feel settled, when you're ready, an inhale brings your body up towards tabletop position. Spreading your fingers once you're there. Hands are under the shoulders. The knuckles of your index fingers are pushing down into the mat. You should feel some engagement run up your forearms as you press into the knuckles. Take a deep breath. Inhale to cow tilt. Drop the belly, lift your chest, gaze comes up. Exhale, cat's tilt around your spine, engaging the belly as you lift. And again, inhale, belly drops, chest lifts. Shoulders are pulling back and down. Exhale, rounds. Push through the arms as your shoulder blades spread. 3 more times. Just waking up your spine here. Follow your breath. So you might be moving at a slightly different pace to me. That's absolutely fine. The rhythm of your breathing might have been settled into a slightly faster pace or a slightly slower pace than what mine settled into. So just move with that breath. Take just one more, completing that 5th inhale and exhale. And then coming back to neutral on the inhale. Now from neutral, take a second, make sure your belly is not dropped any longer here. It's lifted a little bit so your lower back is supported and in a neutral position. Now from here, keep pushing down through the hands. Reach your right leg back behind you over the back edge of your mat. So that right leg is extended. Now it's really easy here to think about your right leg getting as high up as you possibly can. But if you see my lower back there, that's probably going to collapse. So you don't want to get the leg as high as you can. only as high as you can with that neutral spine. So bring the belly back up, squeeze your right glute. From there, first option stay, second option, left hand then reaches forwards. So it's the opposite hand and foot that are reaching forwards and back. Belly is still lifted, your shoulder is strong, bringing the bicep up next to your ear. Take a big inhale. Exhale, knee to the elbow or knee to the chest if you don't have the other arm off of the mat. Inhale, extend, reach forwards and back. Keep pressing down through this right hand. Exhale, knee to the elbow. Draw it in, lift the belly up. Inhale, reach forwards and back. Just to that neutral position, not overextending. Exhale, knee to the elbow. One last time. Inhale, reach. And then release hand and knee back down onto the mat. On the other side, take your time. Reset the belly if you've lost it. Start to engage your left glute to lift your left leg behind you. Pull your belly up. Once you have your balance, then the right arm starts to reach forwards. Your palm is going to face inwards as well. Don't let the palm turn down. Keep it turned inwards so the shoulder is open. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, knee to elbow or knee to chest. Lift your belly up. Inhale, reach forwards and back. Exhale, pull them in. Inhale, reach. Again, just to a neutral position of your spine, not overextending. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach. And then release hand and knee down onto the mat. So we're gonna come back into the first side for a moment here, but only with the leg. So go ahead, reach your right leg once again back behind you. Once the right leg is reaching back, now bend your right knee. Once the right knee is bent about 90 degrees, start to open your hips. So push down through both hands, so your chest is gonna stay facing the mat. Your right hip, the hip of your bent leg, rolls up and open. Your right foot is gonna kind of reach out over the left side of your mat. Again, both arms are straight, so that left arm hasn't collapsed. Keep pushing through it. Let the right hip reach up and over just a little bit further. Right knee is lifted, right foot reaches, and then release. Bring the hip back down, set the right knee onto the mat. Other side. Arms are still pressing. Left leg extends straight back behind you. Bend your left knee so it's at about 90 degrees. Then start to roll your left hip up and over your right hip. Again, keep pushing through the right arm. Don't let your right arm collapse as you extend through the right hip. Take one or two more. Reach out through the left foot. You're getting a bit more opening through the front of your left side. And then release. Roll the hip back down. Set the knee onto the mat. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Lift the knees and the hips. Reach the chest back towards your toes. Take maybe 5 breaths here. Stillness if it feels good. Knees can be bent. Chest is reaching back. If it feels better, a little bit of movement. Walking the dog maybe. Bending one knee, push to the other heel. And then switch to the other side. And just continue adding some movement in here if it works. All the while your knuckles are grounded. So watch again that you've not collapsed into your wrists and let your knuckles come off of the mat. Push the knuckles down. And then just start coming back to stillness. Coming into crescent lunge. Look forwards. Inhale, step the right foot all the way up between your hands. If you need to here, drop the back knee. Otherwise, see if you can keep the back knee lifted. Lifting the upper body. Inhale, bring the chest up. Eventually the arms reach up overhead. Take a couple deep breaths here. Front knee right on top of the ankle. Toes are gripping the mat. Back heel reaching away from you. Using the engagement of your quad to lift that knee up. Take one more here. Then exhale, bring the hands back down to the mat. Coming into a runner's lunge. So your back leg is going to stay the same. Front knee starts to straighten. So start to push that front knee back. Now your hands might stay where they are on the mat. They might walk back a little bit as the front leg straightens. They might also come up onto your shin or your thigh as the leg straightens. The leg doesn't have to get perfectly straight though. Remember that. You can just bend it or keep it bent a little bit and that'll help.
Wherever you are with the hands and with the extension of this leg, find the length of your spine again. Notice if you've collapsed, pull the chest forwards, draw the shoulder blades back. Take another 2 deep breaths here. Breathe into your hamstring. Last one. Then release. Bend your front knee back up into your lunge. Lift your chest, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands onto your hips. You're turning into a straddle. So straighten your front leg, turn your back heel down, then turn your front toes in so you're in a straddle facing over the left side of your mat. Now the outer edges of your feet are parallel to each other. Adjust your feet if you need to. Make sure the toes aren't turned out. They're in just a little bit. Your feet are also about a leg's length apart. So if you need to adjust the stance of your feet, go ahead, do that as well. Push into the outer edges of your feet. Inhale, arms reach up, look up. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips, hands coming towards the mat. So you might feel that as you fold here, you might feel there's a little bit more opening in the back of your right leg because you just did that bit of a lengthening on the right hamstring. That's normal. Take maybe 3 breaths here. You're still pushing into the outer edges of your feet. Your inhales, lengthening your lower back, lengthening your spine. The exhales, find power in your legs, fold a little further. 1 or 2 more. Last one. Now inhale, lift your chest halfway up for a flat back. If you're struggling here to get the hands onto the mat, you are going to need your left hand down here in a moment. So if you're struggling to get the hand down, grab a block, a yoga block or a book or something, and set that underneath your hand. Something solid that gives you a little bit of space underneath between your hand and the floor. So you can push down right into that left palm. Then everybody bring the right hand onto your lower back, coming into a twist. Keep the legs strong. Inhale, start to lift your chest away from the legs. Exhale, twist. Your right shoulder rolls up towards the ceiling. So your chest is going to turn out over the front edge of your mat here. 2 or 3 more breaths. Pushing away from the bottom hand, rolling up and back through the right shoulder. Last one. And then release. Bring the right hand back down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift the chest. Exhale, hands up onto the hips, really strong legs. Inhale, lift the chest all the way up to standing. We're just going to turn to the back edge of your mat. So, left toes. Left toes are going to turn out to the back. You're going to spin onto the ball of your right foot, and then the front knee bends, crescent lunge. Both arms reaching up overhead. So same stuff is happening here as it did on that first side. Front knee right on top of the ankle. Back heel kicking out away from you. Pelvis is tucking underneath just a little bit so you've not collapsed here into your lower back. You're keeping the belly active so the lower back is long. Take 1 more. Next exhale, bring the hands to the mat. Runner's lunge. Front leg starts to straighten. Again, only going as far as you can here. Front leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Again, the key words there are starts to straighten, so it might not get all the way there. You might, again, also bring the hands up a little bit higher. That might give you a bit more. You're looking for the information in your hamstring here. So just adjust however you need to in order to find that. It might be adjusting the positioning of the hands, maybe the straightening, the lengthening in the back of that leg, maybe the lengthening of your spine. 2 or 3 more breaths. Drive a little further back through the left knee on this last exhale. Then release. Bend your front knee, crescent lunge. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands onto your hips. You're turning back into your straddle. Back heel spins down. Front toes turn in. Both legs are straight once again. Again, if you need to adjust the distance of your feet, make sure the toes are turned in just a little bit. This time, hands behind your back, interlace the fingers. Prasarita Padottanasana, C. Inhale, reach down through the knuckles, engaging your triceps to straighten the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together so the chest is open. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold, hinge at the hips. As you come forwards, don't let the shoulders collapse. Keep them back. Your chest is open. Once you can't fold anymore in your hips with a long spine and open chest, then the arms start to move. The knuckles start to pull up away from your lower back. 2 or 3 deep breaths. Reach through the arms. Drive into your feet so the legs are powerful. And take just one more. Then pulling through the knuckles. Inhale, lift the chest halfway. Exhale, release the bind, hands come back down to the mat. If you needed a prop on that first side, go ahead, grab it again here. Set it under the center of your chest. Everybody, right hand plants down onto the mat or onto your prop. The left hand onto your lower back, palm pressing down. Keep the legs strong. Watch that as your chest turns to the back of your mat, that your hips don't also shift. They want to stay level. Inhale, lift your chest, long spine. Exhale, turn the left shoulder up. So you're still pressing through both legs here. Take just another 2 or 3. Inhale's pulling the chest away from the hips. Exhale's rolling this left shoulder further up and your right shoulder underneath you a bit as well. Last one. Release. Exhale, left hand back down to the mat. Inhale, flat back, lift your chest. Exhale, hands up onto your hips. Inhale, all the way up to standing. Turn back to the front of your mat. Turn your front toes forwards. You can spin onto the ball of your back foot, front knee bends. Go ahead, bring the hands to the mat. Downward facing dog, right leg steps back. Deep breath. And then go ahead, set the knees down onto the mat into tabletop position. Now, from here, again, set yourself up so you're in with the hands under the shoulders and knees under the hips. Go ahead, once again, reach your right leg back behind you. Right leg reaches back. First option is that you're going to bend your right knee, do that same opening of your right hip that you did right at the start of class. Second option is you're going to reach your left arm forwards. Then you're going to reach back with the left hand, bend your right knee, see if you can take a hold of the opposite ankle. So the left hand is taking a hold of the right foot. Again, first option is both hands on the mat, your right hip is going to start to open. You can start going there now. If you're taking this bind, start to kick up through your right heel. So you're kicking the right foot into the left hand. Let your chest lift, let your belly drop a little bit as the right knee lifts up towards the ceiling. Getting a bit more opening in the front of the body, a little bit of a back bend. Take one more breath. Back to a neutral balance. Release the bind, bring the belly up, arm and foot reach forwards and back, or just the foot reaches back. Release, hand and knee to the mat, child's pose. Hips back, arms forwards, relax the upper body. One more breath. Other side, back up into tabletop. Left leg reaches back. So you know what option you're taking here. So if you're going into the first option, you can start now. Bend your left knee, start to roll the hip open, kick out through that left heel, getting opening in this left side and a little bit of a back bend here. If you're taking the bind, reach the right arm forwards. Then reach the right hand back. Bend your left knee. See if you can grab a hold of your left foot. Or left ankle, excuse me. Flex the left ankle, keep driving down through the left arm. Kick up through the left leg. So your bind, your hold in the right hand is really strong so that your left foot can kick into it. As the left foot kicks into it, the left knee is lifting up, the chest is moving forwards, the right shoulder is open. Take 1 or 2 more. Back to your neutral balance. Release the bind, belly pulls up, hand and foot, or just the foot reaches back. And then release, hand and knee onto the mat. Oh, well done. You're coming into a seat. So, however is easiest for you to do so. Crawl, step, jump, roll. Bring the legs straight out in front of you. So this is going to be a fold, so if you need it, grab your prop, sit on your prop. Otherwise, just onto the mat. Kick forwards through the heels, lift the chest, inhale, reach forwards, exhale, fold, hinge at the hips, hands towards the legs somewhere. So you're either grabbing your shins, ankles, or feet. Use the engagement of your quad to lengthen the back of your leg. Take 1 or 2 more, lengthening on the inhale, folding on the exhale. Last one. And then release, come back up to the top. Bring your hands behind you. Doesn't matter where they are, just so that you're leaning back a little bit. Then bend both of your knees. Separate your feet to about the width of your mat. And then drop both knees to the right. So the feet are gonna stay wide, both knees drop to the right. Your right knee is gonna go off the mat, your left knee is gonna drop towards your right foot, then walk yourself back up again. Now some of you are gonna already be feeling a whole lot in your hips. If that's the case, you can just bring your hands to your hips, work on sitting up tall and letting your right hip drop towards the mat. For a little something different, turn your chest over your right knee. So you're going to be facing somewhere off the right side of your mat, and then you're going to start folding here. So you can start walking your hands forwards, either going out over the knee or over the shin if it feels good. Over the shin and over the foot will be a little bit deeper into your right hip. Not here for too long, just a little bit to open up that hip. Right hip specifically if you're folding. 1 or 2 more. And then release. Walk the hands back up to the top. Turn your chest forwards again. Bring the hands back behind you. Bring the knees back up to the top. You're just switching sides. So the feet are still wide. Both knees now drop to the left, or in the other direction if you went to the left side first, that's okay. Walk the hands up so you're upright. Again, first option, stay here. Lifting through the chest, your right hip is dropping down. Second option, turn the chest over your left knee and fold. Walk the hands out over your left leg. Only going as far into this fold as feels nice. There will be a point where it doesn't feel good anymore. When you reach that point, just back out of it a little bit. 2 more here. And then release back up to the top. Bring the body back forwards again. Knees up to the top, into your chest, down onto your back. Take the knees back with you as you roll down. And then set the feet to the mat. Shift your hips to the right side of your mat. You're coming into your twist. Feet and knees together. Draw the knees into your chest. And then the knees drop to the left side of the mat. Now you can adjust this a little bit here, and your hips, they might not have gone far enough to the right side, so you can shift a little further over. Your knees also can come higher to your chest or further away. That might adjust your sensation a little bit as well. Wherever you are with the legs and those adjustments, drop your gaze over your right shoulder and take just 3 breaths. And coming back to the center, bring your gaze back, bring your knees up, hips back to the middle, knees into your chest. And then feet down, hips to the left side of your mat, feet and knees together, knees draw to your chest, knees drop to the right, letting your hips roll over. Again, adjust if needed, and then take the gaze over your left shoulder. Two or 3 more on this side. And then back to the center. Draw the knees into your chest. And then preparing yourself for your Shavasana. If you've got props or a favorite shape for your body, go ahead, start to find that, set that up. Otherwise, just release your legs. Let them go long to the mat. Release the arms by your sides. Palms facing upwards. Close your eyes. Shavasana.
Release the fingers and the toes. Release the ankles and wrists. The knees and elbows. Let the hips and the shoulders melt down into the mat. Your lips may slightly part as you release your jaw. Softening the space between the eyebrows. Softening the space behind the ears. Listening to any sounds that may be around you. Letting them wash over your body. Creating stillness. Finding the space that exists inside your mind. And finding some peace. Slowly beginning to deepen your breath. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Circling the ankles and wrists. Rocking the head from side to side. Inhale to reach the arms overhead, reaching long through the fingers and through the toes. Exhale, draw the knees into the belly, wrap the arms around them, giving yourself one last big hug, rocking from side to side. Eventually winding up on your right hand side. Using your right bicep as a pillow. Remaining in Shavasana with your eyes closed. And when you're ready, press into your left palm, coming up to any comfortable seated position. Palms may press together at chest center if you choose. May you take only what is offered, take only what you need, and always give more than you take. Stay safe, stay kind, and stay patient. Thank you. Namaste.